Hello, good people. My name is Tatenda Chiwanga and Dinera Simboti. So a few years ago, I started a Facebook group, Zimbabwe Young Miners and Farmers, right? So ever since I started it, I've been getting this question over and over again, and I decided to answer it today. And the question is, how do I get investors to invest in my mining business? And I know there are various opinions out there, but I'm going to share my own experiences and the tips that I feel that things you need to do that can increase your chances. So you need to have certain things in place. I'm going to give you some tips, and I'm not saying this will definitely guarantee you that you will have an investor, but these are things that will definitely increase your chances of getting invested. Right, tip number one, you need to have a geology report. So this is a document that is going to outline that a geologist has assessed the land that you hold claims to, and the report is going to include the type of minerals in that space, the quantities of minerals per ton of dirt or per ton of ore in that space, and it's going to include a detailed map of the area, and it's going to show soil profiles of what it's like underground and a cross section of the land and what is to be expected underground. Is the land soft? Is it hard? What are the risks of mining in that place? So a geology report is something that is very, very important, and this is something that every investor will need to look at initially, and it can cost a bit more, but it is definitely worth it. Tip number two, you need to start exploring the land yourself and be your own investor. What do I mean by this? Start a small scale mining operation, right, where you can get a bit more money, and from the exploration itself, this can actually help solidify the geologist report that you already have. This will be very, very good for you. It's a big advantage where you can also be making money from the investment that you've put in it, and you're also getting more soil detail, more rock detail, more profiles to add to the geology report. And the other thing that you need to note is investors are willing to invest in someone who has invested in their own business at first. So how much money have you put in? How much time? How many other resources have you put into the business before you start asking for someone else's money? Tip number three, record keeping. This, I don't know how hard I can stress this point, but you need to keep every record of everything that's happening at your mine to the last screw, right? So your records must include the ore produced, the minerals within the ores, so basically how many grams or how many kilos of minerals were produced per certain tonnage of ore, right? You need to have records that show how many employees that you have. You need to have records that show the expenses that you've put, amount of equipment hired and amount of equipment owned. These are things that will help your investors to make a decision whether they will invest or not. And within this process, you also need to prove that you actually made the gold that your mine records say you produce. So the best way to do this would be to show records of sales. So all the gold that you produce, try to sell to a reputable buyer. So this is either a licensed buyer or selling direct to the fidelity printers, because this sort of like creates a trail for you that your investors can have a look at and double check with the buyer that you sold your gold to. This is something that is so important as well, because you need to prove that you're making the gold you say you're making. Tip number four, right, networking. So this is pretty much self-explanatory. You need to hang around with other miners. You need to go to events that encourage investment, other events that are talking about mining, right? So, and when you go to these events, be careful of people who are going to take your money. These are just fraudulent people who take your money, promise you that they are going to connect you to other to investors, and at the end of the day they just take your money and go. You never see or hear anything from them ever again, so be careful. So then again, these are my tips that I feel that if you do these things, they can increase your chances of getting investment. They may not be all you need to do, but at least this is somewhere you can start from, and from there definitely your mind will have better chances of having someone invest in it. So if you've got any questions, please feel free to comment in the comment section below, or any other ideas or tips, please share them in the comment section below. I would love to hear what you think about this whole investment idea. What other tips do you have that can help other people, that can even help me? Because I'm not saying I'm a pro at everything, I'm still learning. And if you liked this video and if you thought it was informative, please like and subscribe. And if you feel that it can help someone else, please feel free to share. And until next time, see you again.